Dublin in a rainstorm, sitting in the long grass in summer, keeping warm. I remember it every restless night. We were so young then, we thought that everything we could possibly do was right. And we moved, stolen from our very eyes. And I wondered where you went to. And tell me, when did the light die? You will rise, you'll return, the phoenix from the flame. You will learn, you'll rise, you'll return, being what you are. There is no other troll for you to burn out. I never meant to hurt you. I swear I didn't mean those things I said. I never meant to do that to you. Next time I keep my hands to myself instead. Oh, does she love you? What do you want to do? Does she need you like I do? Love her? Is she good for you? Does she hold you like I do? Should I leave? I know you're always telling me that you love me, but just sometimes
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my show. Glad you're listening. It is September 3rd, Labor Day, 2012. Hope you're having a good weekend, a good 3-day weekend for everybody. That was Troy by Sinead O'Connor off of her first album called The Lion and the Cobra, and I highly recommend that album. I discovered it way back in the early 90s, 1989, 1990. I think this album came out in 88 or 89. It might be a year earlier. I don't know that one for sure, but I just remember listening to this whole album. I think that was really Sinead O'Connor's most powerful time in her voice. The next album, of course, was the more famous one. I think it was called Don't Want What I Don't Have, or I'll get that name of that album in a minute. But this one, her first one, was more raw. It was more real, I think, in her lyrics. And so that was Troy, which is one of my favorite songs from that album. Anyway, I wanted to say hi to everybody. It's been about a week since I've talked to you all. Today is Monday, which is normally my Friday, but I have a 3-day weekend as well. So I'm enjoying that and enjoying my time with you. And so I hope you were able to get out, enjoy the weather, have a barbecue today with some family and friends, and hopefully listening to the show as well. So I've got quite a few news stories today. This is going to be in another extended show because I've kind of stopped doing the 45-minute shows. I don't have enough. Actually, it's not enough time for me to get through everything that I want, and I kind of rush through it. And so I'd rather take my time and do a longer show. So I've been doing those on my weekends. So unless I'm out and about doing something in Portland or elsewhere, I will do the longer shows on my weekends. And I think it's worked out pretty well that way. And speaking of my news stories, a lot of people have asked me why I don't just kind of do the regular read the regular news, the politics and all of that. And I do if something rankles me enough to read it. But to be quite honest, I find the regular news a little depressing, a little boring. So I tend to find the more interesting stories, more science and odd news that I find amusing and hopefully entertains you enough. And while I play music, you do my shout-outs and my birthday wishes as well. You can call me during the show if you want. My number's on my Facebook page, so all my Facebook friends, you have that. Those of you who are listening on Spreaker, you can certainly message me there as well, or you can add me on Facebook. And so you guys can text me, or you can text me on Facebook, which I get a few of those during the show as well. So the first story that I have is about some stranded whales that were rescued after they beached in Scotland. And this is in St. Andrews, Scotland on Sunday. 10 pilot whales were rescued and refloated Monday after they became stranded on a Scottish beach, according to reports. The 20-foot whales were kept alive by veterinarians and led out to deeper waters, but 16 others could not be saved and died on the beach in Fife, on the east coast just south of St. Andrews, Fife. And this story is according to the Scotsman newspaper. It said the volunteers joined the local Coast Guard, Fire Brigade, British divers, marine life rescue, animal welfare charities, and local vets during the rescue. 21 whales were found to have beached, and Coast Guard officials were alerted to the beaching between 7 a.m. local time on Sunday, which is 1 a.m. Eastern time here in the States. It was said 3 of the whales that died were calves. David Galloway, a fish filleter from Anstruther, told the Scotsman, "I went down to the beach at about 12 p.m. and I could see all the whales, and it was horrible. I have never seen anything like it in my life. We were told that we couldn't go down to the beach, but we could see rescuers beside the whales, and they were trying to take care of them and trying to keep them moist. They were waiting for the tide to come in, as it was just a horrible scene. The Coast Guard spokesman said it is a very rare occurrence in Scotland and very sad. The unusual scenario would be that the whale that is leading the group has become ill or had lost its way and gets beached, and the rest will follow on, although we do not know for sure if that is what happened. Witnesses posted pictures of the rescue scene via social media, including Twitter, and it came after 21 short-finned pilot whales beached themselves along Florida's Atlantic coast on Saturday, leaving at least 2 of those whales as dead. I've had my own experience with a beached whale. It was kind of interesting. I was living in Seattle at the time, and I had come down to Portland for the weekend, just visiting my cousin Tina. And I decided, instead of going up I-5, which is the normal route up to Seattle, I went over to the coast to kind of follow 101 up, and I went to a North Oregon tourist trap, if you will, called Seaside. It's a beautiful area. I'm not besmirching Seaside at all, but it is pretty tourist oriented. Their main income is during the summertime, when the weather is pretty decent along the Oregon coast. Anyway, as I was driving up to Seaside, I saw along the side of the road a helicopter tourist place, and I stopped in. It was about 5 o'clock in the evening, and I was able to get a last ride on the last helicopter out for the day. And so we flew up, and I was in actually the front seat next to the pilot, and we were headed up and out over the ocean. There was a mom and her kids were in the back of the helicopter just enjoying the scenery. And as we flew out over the ocean, I had just finished the sentence to the pilot. Just looking down over the water, I said, "Hey, do you ever see, wildlife? Do you ever see marine life?" Before I could even get the sentence completely out, he came over the intercom and said, "Hey, there's a whale down there beaching itself." And sure enough, looking down, there was a huge whale, and it was thrashing around the water, and you could see it was definitely on the sandbar. You could see the sandbar just under the surface of the water. And we hovered there for quite some time, and he called it in to local law enforcement, and they were alerted to it at that point. There was nobody on the beach at that time of day. It was kind of a odd thing to see that there weren't very many people, I think, had noticed it at that point. So we hovered there for a few minutes, and then finally had exited and went back to their home base. And it was odd enough that I didn't have a camera with me or a video camera or anything like that. I didn't get any of it on film. And I don't know that the mother in the back seat did. And then, so I decided to drive to the beach, and by the time I got there, it was literally hundreds and hundreds of people out on the beach. By this time, the whale was nearly completely out of the water. And there were actually people in the water beside the whale as it was thrashing around. The cops were on the beach